There you go, I've got you back, boys. So, I said this before we got today's proceedings underway, Astralis were in 6th place. And they were right up against it. They had likes of Fnatic and Dignitas around them. Now, Dignitas are playing next today, after this match, against Hellraisers. Hellraisers near the bottom. They're currently in 12th place, if memory serves me correctly, with Penta in 13th place. So you can pretty much say that Hellraisers and Penta don't have really any chance at getting through to the next stages of the ESL Pro League. But Astralis are in one of those positions where things can quickly change. So this map is very important for their continuation in this tournament, you have to feel. So Overpass is so crucial. Penta recently as well, I should mention, beat Heroic on Overpass. About a week ago I was casting them, and they ended up taking the map, I think it was 1916 or 1917 in the end. It did go to overtime, and Penta won. So there are a couple of things that give me a little bit of terror for Astralis, but I feel they're the kind of team that can bounce back. Damn, one tap. So this game is scheduled to start pretty much any time now, so hopefully we'll be underway shortly. I may very well just put it back into music and have the warm-up in the background and save my voice, as I'm going to be solo casting the rest of this evening for you guys. So enjoy. Yo, random, if you need to ask something, then tweet me, bro. It's much easier for me to see you on Twitter as opposed to chat. If I look away for chat for like 3 seconds, I can miss a bunch of messages, you know. Why not play some bass on stream? I'd have to start up Rocksmith and like configure everything, dude. It's not as easy as that, unfortunately. Plus, I'm not sure ESL would be okay with that, because there's copyrighted music on Rocksmith, right? Whereas opposed to this music, there's a lot of different elements to it, is what I'm trying to say. Well, if you want to ask me questions on Twitter, it's On Fire Metas. I changed my Twitter. That's where I joined On Fire. So On Fire Metas. He just realised 20. It's all good, bro. It's all good. That's probably the easiest way. Like, I'll happily answer questions, but obviously I'm streaming while casting and stuff, so it's kind of rough to do both. If you're curious what's happening, guys, I'm just streaming some warm-up for music, just chilling in the background. As I have no idea when this game will be going live, so it could take a little while. Ah, Brian, cheers, dude. There's the Twitter if you want to throw across some questions. Right, Q Immy Q. I honestly have no idea how to say your name. I'm gonna call you Im, if that's cool, or Immy. I want to hear then, what would you change about Astralis' lineup? Let's theoricraft here. Let's hypothesize. Who would you go with? Who would you take out? Who would you put in? I've got to be realistic though. You can't just be like, take out someone and put in like Kenny S, right? So you, be realistic. Alright boys, here we go. Let me turn the music off very quick. Alrighty. Map number 2 is about to get underway. Overpass, Astralis, Penta. Astralis will be hungry for redemption, hungry for revenge. After a incredibly surprising loss on cash. You put Cajun back in, huh? Carrigan out, MSL in. Interesting. Anyway, you guys can theorize all you want in chat. I'll try and have a look across now and again, but it looks like we are about to see some action on the A side as Kirby gets picked off courtesy of Mike SUSP. It's a disgusting skin, but so is the headshot. So it goes hand in hand. Bomb was dropped. Carrigan picks it up. Why anyone would take the Road Rash and actually want to use this weapon. Looks like someone wiped their ass with it. I'm not going to lie. It looks horrible to me. But fortunately for Mike S, the quality of the skin doesn't equate to the quality of the skill. So he's okay. And with that one kill that came in, that does alleviate some pressure off Penta, as it was Kirby. He's one of the star players for Astralis, of course. Flashbang is perfectly timed with Device's push, however, and now Astralis will be getting their hands firmly on control of A. Should be planted. The truck is the designation for the bomb plant. And Astralis will try and filter out. Stefan comes in with 2 frags. It's gone horribly wrong for Terra. Stefan with a 3rd. USP all day, every day. Penta will take the pistol with the defuse. 16-10, Astralis is Brian's bet. Alrighty. Does anyone want to take him up on that offer?
Counter-terrorists win.
It seemed a lot of people coming into this map thought Astralis would win it fairly convincingly. I saw some 16-7s, some 16-9s. Is there anybody in chat that thinks that Penta can win this map? And if so, what score? Because I think that's probably in the minority. Jay the Predator, 16-0 Penta, of course. Go big or go home. Standard. Mate, if Penta win this 16-0, I don't even know what I'd do. There's a skin I haven't seen in ages, the M4A4 Griffin. Do you remember when that used to look a bit different? Before it got put onto, what was it? Some copyright issues, I think. It changed. I remember when the Griffin first came out. I loved that skin. Haven't used it in ages. Haven't seen it in ages. 16-10 Penta. 16-13 Penta. Alrighty, so you think Penta will get the double over Astralis tonight? That would be a huge upset. The Zipnix should be the next player to fall. Somehow still alive. 62 health, dodging bullets left, right, and centre. Carrigan going to be charging through alongside Kirby, who's going to go for the plant. Carrigan's going to try and be the bodyguard. It's very important he actually assumed that position because Kirby was incredibly vulnerable. Mike gets the MP9, should go to town. The lawnmower going through the weeds of Astralis. And it's Zipnix left alive again. And the bomb's on the opposite side of the box. Forever alone Zipnix. Billy No Mates gets punished. Penta with a 2-0. They're still using the Griffin. Nice. Sound is delayed. If you have some issues with sound delay, restart your stream. Jez, it's an issue with Twitch, bro. It's not on my end. So restart your Twitch. Start the stream and you'll be golden, bro. Only 1 kill so far for the Danes. Astralis only have Device with a frag. That's going to have to change very shortly as they're trying to take control over the connector. Kirby throws in the molly. That's going to stop Crystal from pushing down the stairs, and he will be backing away with the scout, which he still has retained for a couple of rounds. As I said before, Crystal typically is their secondary AWPer. Not entirely sure if we'll see double AWPs come to fruition on Overpass. I mean, it's not necessarily the worst idea. An AWP on each side can definitely be good. Nice to have. And look at this from Stefan. That's such aggression as Zipnix must be face planting. His desk must be in ruins. Stefan with a second kill. He's not typically the guy you're expecting to be exploding for Penta, but he's 5-0 and he played really solid work on Cash. Interesting enough, Lol hasn't died. Got an assist. Or got a frag. He's been the invisible man so far on Overpass, but hasn't needed to have been seen. Fortunately for him, Penta playing their hearts out. Can I be golden too? You can all be golden. Crystal with his scout looking for the frag. Narrowly misses out on it. Device down to 56. All three Astralis members are together, but with the smokes they're going to be able to push onto this one. Crystal has to be very careful. That is a spot I should say, that is shot preemptively. As often the player will have his head just peeking over for the cheeky frag. Kirby holding long. This isn't looking too good. This next frag has got to go the way of Astralis, otherwise it's going to quickly get out of hand, and it will go the way of Kirby. So this keeps the dream alive. No one's looking or flanking either from Penta, so all three members coming from the same side. Lol and Crystal now have it all to do, and Crystal, was that a no-scope run drive-by scout? What is happening? Kirby in a 1-on-2 has them on planted for him. What is that one tap? Kirby, settle down, son. Jesus, you're going to get a nosebleed, mate, in the second one. That one tap is filthy. Holy Gaben. So, Penta, after getting completely ripped to shreds, courtesy of Kirby, now have a really bad vibe. Dupree, headshots down onto Tarsin, looking for a second one and will connect it. And that play from Kirby is the kind of thing that can light a fire under players' backsides and make them really start to perform. So he's at the catalyst for Astralis to dust off the cobwebs. My guess and Crystal, I think, realising that this round has got away from them, looking to save instead. Flashbang to accompany it. So they got about $1,000 in equipment value. That's decent enough to save, honestly. It may seem fairly stupid, but going through into the next round, that could be a nice little boost. Every little helps when it comes to these kind of situations. And hey, if they stack together and a couple of terrorists go the wrong way, they maybe can get an exit frag and keep an AK-47. So there are a couple of outs to this round, and Crystal's doing quite a lot of damage actually, taking 2 players down. The sound lag is pretty bad right now. Turn the sound off and on. Just restart Twitch, boys. Should fix it. It's not on my end at least. Now if I get an admin or a mod telling me that the sound's delayed, then I'm going to listen to that. But when it's just people in chat, no disrespect, but you guys are kind of trolls. Some of you trolls, I'm just saying. So Kirby in connector. Mike S by himself in the bathroom. Does have Crystal coming up around the back side, but he just gets one-tapped. Oh my goodness, Device has just destroyed them single-handedly up long. He's going to get his hands on the AWP as well if he wants it. Indeed, he'll pick it up for his team. Lol and Stefan, after getting a buy, into such a bad position here. But through no fault of their own, just their players get picked off one by one. Carrigan, next player, stepping up, and he will be put down in place courtesy of Lowell, who lost 92 health so far in this round. I do not like this skin. I know some people love it. It's way too bright for me. I feel like I could get a migraine if I play with this skin for a period of time. It's just like someone threw up on a weapon, honestly. And it will be taken out of the round, which I'm actually kind of happy about. Lowell leaves Stefan in a 1-on-4. Oh, he goes. NA observing. It's an auto-director, mate. I mean, it is kind of a one-man show here, because I'm casting and streaming. If I observe, trust me, it would be much worse than it is right now. I'm switching when I can, but yeah, most of it's going to be on auto-direct. I'm not very good at multitasking. Come on, Stefan. Let's see what you got. I think Kirby actually switched weapons there. I'm pretty sure he was halfway through an animation. So it could be an AK-47 taken through to the next round. Not too shabby. This gives Penta a couple of options, but still not great. Save better than nothing, of course, but Zipnix seems to have caught a whiff of the scent. Stefan's giving out, lands the headshot in the back. Astralis take a 3-2 lead. Brian, did you say you have sound lag? See, now, if you're telling me the sound lag, then I'm just going to start to think maybe it's true. Did you refresh and everything? You still have it? Who's the caster? I'm at this. How are you doing? So, that would suggest that Astralis is going to take a 4-2 lead. Penta onto really lackluster weapons. PT50 5.7 basically to play with. And up they come. Double stack in connector. Could get the upper hands. Onto Carrigan, who is the player from the Terrorists, who is putting a bit of presence in here, but he's playing this one super passively, and this is the smart play for me. No one from his team has scouted out connector just yet and doesn't want to push in any further. This allows him to get the bomb plant down anyway, and if he just holds his position, he just heard someone drop down anyway, so at this point he's certain. There's a couple of players there. Patience of virtue, ladies and gents. Counter-Strike teaching life lessons. Carrigan. Sensei Carrigan has your back covered. QB in connector with the P90, and it looks as though Penta looking for exit frags again. $900 worth of equipment value, but they're going to have a full buy in next round anyway, so not necessarily a requirement to save here. But it looks like Lowell will be keeping on to his PT50. They'll have a flash. Mike S is just there. You better believe if Mike S is in a 1v5, he's going for broke. He's only here so they have a 3-man death squad, so there's a higher chance they do get an exit frag. If Mike S is on his own, no doubting he is going for broke. Either way, he has himself the AWP. What's his spawn like? He has a pretty good spawn for mid, actually, so he could go for the Fountain Peak or Balloon Peak. But instead, he decides to go up long. Which I guess I understand. He only has the AWP, no Kevlar, so if a couple of grenades get thrown into Fountain to deal with him, he actually could get outright fragged. So, overall, I think that's a smart play. Dupree looking for the hop, which Tarsin was going for originally. I think now that he's hearing bullets come down range, that may put him off, but Device lands the headshot onto Crystal, who goes walkies and gets punished. Strangled by his leash. Astralis sitting pretty at this point. Penta are going to have to split up. They've got a 2-2 formation. Oh, that spray is disgusting, Tarsin. Into the head of Kirby just as he moves in. And a second one for Lowell in the meanwhile. So just as I was saying, it was starting fantastically for Astralis. It's gone somewhat backwards. Mike S gets plucked out of mid-air with the M4A1S headshot and a second for Device. That's going to secure the site and at least the bomb plant. But now Penta in a position to potentially retake. They do have a flash and a HE. And with Device being on 12, if that nade had landed anywhere near him, he could have been a dead man. Stefan comes up, he picked up a couple of disgusting headshots earlier on. The next bullet pretty much wins this one. And it's going to be Device from Bank. Oh, that knife is beautiful. Device, give me it, please. What is that? The M9 Gamma Emerald stat track. I don't think I put those words in the right order. Deal with it. That is... Oh, Device, the things I do for that knife. I think Rubino has, obviously Rubino from Dignitas has the same knife, but the Karambit version. So heavy stack Penta onto B. There are 4 players here with Crystal on the Overwatch from Heaven. Spray through, Device again bagging himself frags. It definitely does seem like that clutch from TB with the God 1 tap has really woken up the Danes. A much needed wake-up call. Mike S and his CZ. I believe you just heard Device jumping up there, but I mean, he still has to open the squeaky door, and that, by and large, should end his life.
Bomb has been planted.
Looks like he'll set up for an exit frag. And how many times have we been in this situation already where Penta concede a couple of kills to go for an exit frag, albeit this was an eco round. They didn't invest a great deal. You can see their economy now with 5, soon to be 6 round loss in a row. They have full round loss bonus coming up. This could be a couple of AWPs. I'll be very curious to see here if they do go for a couple of AWPs. Mike S will definitely be getting AWP. There's no doubt about that in my mind. I want to see if Crystal takes one too. Because not only is it a case that they're two pretty solid AWPers, but with Penta being up against it this bad in a couple of rifle rounds, maybe this is the moment where they try and change things up. Maybe this is where they say, okay boys, let's try the double AWP setup. So let's see. Yeah, double AWPs instantly. Well, it's actually going to be Tarson that takes it. Interesting. He does have a really good spawn for B. Maybe that's the reason why. It could also be that Crystal's just not AWPing as much anymore. Well, you did see earlier him using his scout, so he's the kind of player that can definitely run with it. That Molly slightly off. And curious to me that Tarson actually goes for the short play. Meanwhile, Mike S gets into the connector and gets taken down courtesy of Dupree. So, the trades go the way of Penta, but their economy being in such a sketchy position as it is, Kerrigan runs out, caught with his pants down around his ankles. And hold the phone for a second, because Crystal is on the prowl. Up around the back of the terrorists. If he just goes looking, he's going to get killed to Zipnix, who gave his position away. That leaves Dupree very much alone in this cold, brutal world that we call Overpass. Well, it looks pretty sunny, so it probably isn't that cold. Brutal, though, very much the case. Can you get any kills from here? Maybe Stefan, if he keeps bobbing up and down. I feel like he's not going to expect low on the tight right. Indeed, he won't. And Penta will get themselves around, but that reset bonus has came to fruition too. They only lost the player, I think, in that last round. Actually, let me just double check that. Yeah, they just lost the one player, so their economy's still pretty solid. They will be able to buy again after this round, whatever happens. Astralis, full AK-47s, full nades. Again, that Molly did actually land this time. It's going to stop any players pushing short. That's the reason for it, obviously. And the carpet of fire goes down. This allows Astralis now the information that no one can be in the short water, no one can be on that connector side. Gives them more of a stranglehold over the B side. This is why connector control is pretty important for the counter-terrorists in certain rounds like this, because it will keep the terrorists at base. It mix again through smoke. This time it's on Monster, this time it's Tarsin. Rip of a dream. Looking for another one as well. There's no N in Zipnix. Yeah, Zipex, Zipnix. The problem is that when I first started casting Astralis, a lot of people call him Zipnix, and therefore I just kind of got used to it. And at this point, people troll me back and forth all the time, so I don't even know. So I'll just stick with Zipnix. As I'm talking though, the Strats have burrowed their way onto the site. The bomb's still dropped actually back on the monster side, which is going to eat some valuable time away from Astralis, and more importantly allow Penta to start to get themselves back onto the site, get close enough. The problem is I have to walk through smoke, and that's going to cost Mike S and Penta the round. So after finally getting themselves back on the scoreboard, down they go. It's important to mention they've only won one rifle round. The 2 rounds they got were from the pistol, only the 1 rifle round. There's a video of him saying how it's meant to be said. Haven't seen the video, bro. How to become a caster. I've actually made a video on this. I would have to be talking for way too long, dude. Just keep practicing. Basically, keep practicing, record demos, send them to companies, good luck. That's the very short summary of what you need to do. Nice! Actually, it stinks. Down to 20. It's a really poor buy. Not a high investment for Penta. who I actually thought could go all in on this round. You can see their economy. They still got sort of mid to low 2000s, but instead opting for a more solid buy in the next one, which I guess is fair enough. But you started to run out of time now on this half, so it does surprise me a little bit. You can see some power plays scattered with a 5.7 Kevlar and a UMP. Mykes actually gets the drop on device, and Astralis, who had a huge weapon advantage coming into this round, now find themselves a player behind with Dupree on 5 health and only 40 seconds. They've got to start to get a move on. Mykes gets taken down. That's the AK dropped, so they no longer have the assault rifle to work off. They still have the UMP in play, however, and that's in the hands of Lowell, who's going to be coming around the back and probably last. His teammate's already gone in. That's maybe a moment where Stefan probably should have waited for his teammate. It really doesn't matter at the end of the day, though, because Astralis are going to have that every day of the week. As soon as that goes into a 4v2, there's surely only one way it's going to go. And Astralis now taking a very convincing lead onto Overpass. This is the reason for the eco in the last round, or at least the partial buy, so you can get a solid one in this one. Mike S, what's his spawn like? Okay, so he pretty much has the best spawn for a mid-peak. Let's see if he goes for this. It seems the only play he might be able to get is going to be Device, but Device is actually going into Connector, so this isn't going to pay out at all. And the two Connector players are about to bump head-to-head. It's going to be Device and Lowell. Lowell's actually using the smoke to his advantage, playing the upper ground. So you can see what Mike S was going for. Didn't quite work out, and now the execute is going to be coming through onto the B side as Carrigan and Zip X will be going through first. Players up on the jump, and it's Astralis who are getting all the kills going their way, but passing now through the smoke is going to be landing himself the one frag. Some heads must be getting scratched at this point, wondering how the hell that happened. There was an Astralis member who was watching short and just didn't have it covered for his team. Finally, Tarson will bite the dust, and now it's all on Crystal. 1v3. Position has been compromised. Yili actually flashes himself flat down in the face and will finally go down as Kirby picks up his 11th frag of the map. Crystal top fragging. He was actually the lowest fragging member on Cash for Penta, so impressive that he bounced back in such a way. I think at one point he was like 4 for 14 on Cash, and now he stands very much at the top of the leaderboard for Penta. I was about to say for the Germans, but they've got Mike Hess, I believe it's Dutch. So that wouldn't technically be true. Kirby watching Connector. Tarson's here again. Double stack, and Mike S is the player actually with the flashbang, so I'm curious if he's going to pop this in. That molly will give the red light to this push for now. There's no point popping through the molly. They're going to wait until that clears, and then meanwhile Kirby actually backs away. So a passage of play that's going to work against the CTs. That was maybe their only hope into this round, barring a couple of miraculous headshots out of nowhere. Astralis playing slow, realizing the CT's onto an eco. Want to make sure they don't put any feet into any bear traps. And, well, Crystal gets hunted. Next up is Mike S, who's in a pretty solid position, holding fast. Tarson, meanwhile, the other player that was in Connector earlier for that two-man stack flash set play, has managed to lurk his way all around the back. But the problem is he only has a P250, so even if he does get the drop, it's not a guaranteed frag, although he is coming around the back of Dupree's on 33 health, so there's a lot of maybes, ifs and buts in this round. The guaranteed definite is that the bomb's been planted and Zipnix has taken down Stefan, so Mike S in Connector. He's going to come around the back and will land the frag on Zipnix. That's the AK-47 that goes into his hands. He heard footsteps down Connector as well, so he's going to spin around. He does have the Kevlar. He's going to be able to do quite a bit of damage. It surprises me Dupree's going for this with 33 health, because he's almost guaranteed to die. There's no hope in a clutch at this point for Penta. This is a lot of weapons being taken away. Oh, I guess when I see the economy of Astralis, it makes a lot more sense. They're all about 9k, so they can easily replenish these weapons. And of course, taking the AK-47 away from the CTs means it's a little less of a buy. There was an option for an AWP in play, but it would have been glass cannon, and instead Penta elect to go for M4s. Crystal actually gets the second AWP. Sorry, the first AWP, but the second player to pick up the AWP. So, how are they going to play this one? Because there's a very heavy stack over on the long A side. 3 players here. Almost a trifecta of crossfire. But as we know, Astralis haven't really gone long that often. Typically, they've occupied bathroom a lot more. Let's see what happens here. Device is going to be the player to come around the corner. You can see Lowell was partially flashed for a couple of moments. He's now clear, so if he hears these footsteps, Device should be a dead man, and indeed he'll go down. How many players did he see before he died is the question. I can't tell you that because I only saw from Lowell's perspective, but I believe 2 may very well be the call. Now, if that's the case, Astralis should be backing away. Zipnex has already picked up a bit of information over on the B side, and they must realise this is a heavy A investment from the counter-terrorists. Molly's going to go in. That's going to deter Crystal's original peak, and back he will fall. 50 seconds left. Astralis' only hope here is onto the B side. For me, that's the only way they get this round. That's going to open up things nicely. Zipnex with 2 frags. Stefan just jumps out of heaven. What is happening, Penta? Even if that bomb gets planted, it's a 5-on-3 at that stage. In your favour, you should be able to retake. Why are you going out 1 by 1? This makes no sense. And now, from almost a guaranteed Penta round, it quickly goes across to Astralis. Crystal's low. Mike S isn't much healthier in terms of health. And Zipnex has just landed the headshot onto Crystal. Dupree lands another one. And it's gone horribly wrong for Penta. A 5v3 goes the way of Astralis. 11-3 to score. And Penta now have a force of a Mag 7, UMP, couple from Asias. Crystal could go for another one. Actually goes for an MP9 so we can afford more grenades. So, after a crushing defeat 16-14 that Astralis experienced just a few moments prior, they are romping ahead 11-3, and it should be 12-3. At that stage, for me, this is pretty much all over. The Astralis CT side is really strong. Lowell, close range, executes down Carrigan. Stefan with one of his own. So they're making this bargain bucket buy-up work. And looking pretty good for Penta, all things considered. There is an SG, because why the hell not? Or the crew. Device is going to put it to use. With the Commando, I believe it was also at one point. Fallout warning. 50 seconds. Device already with 1 kill. 3 more players to find and to frag. Gonna be playing the long con for the rotate. Going to connector. This keeps his options open. 30 seconds though. He's gonna have to commit at some point, and as we can see on the map, 2 CTs on B side. 20 seconds. At this point now, Device has to commit to the B side. He's going to be sliding down, has to make no noise. You can hear at least 1 player running back and forth, and this could be the drop on tossing. There we go. Is he going to check? Oh, he's not going to check, and it's going to cost him his life. So unfortunate, but honestly, at that point, you don't expect a double stack on that position. So Penta will pick up a 4th round in the half. Is it enough to go through on T side with? Personally, I don't think so, but it's a whole lot better than looking at 1 stage. So do we have any Penta believers here? Oh, Drinking when you're solo casting is maybe the best feeling ever for your throat. Random comment, but there you go. So, Astralis, after losing the first map, are in such a good position. If they lose from this is going to be the choke of the century. Like, combined the two maps. I just don't see how Penta come back from this. Even if they win the pistol, they're going to have to break Astralis' economy multiple times. I think you'd have to be crazy to think this game isn't going to be another 16-14. Dude, if this is 16-14, then I'll hold my hands up and just say I quit casting. Because at that point I would know nothing about the game, clearly. Pure trash. I just cannot foresee a way that Penta pick up any more than 8 or 9 rounds here. Yeah, this is warm-up. Just keeping it live for you guys.
Bomb has been defused. Counter-terrorists win.
See, now this is where having a co-cast is pretty big. Someone to talk to. So, if you guys have any questions or just any general ideas, throw them out in chat. Keep me alive. Because I'm struggling, boys. I just got back from Bucharest yesterday. So I'm pretty damn tired. Speedcast. I do not have the energy to do that at all. I probably could speedcast. Not as good as the likes of Sabakid. I probably could. I honestly just can't be asked. To be straight up honest with you. If this goes to 16-14 Vince, will you give me a casting lesson? Yes, Backspace, I will. Although I don't think there's much to teach, honestly. I feel like self-review is the most important thing in terms of starting off in casting. Like being very honest with yourself as to what you're doing right and wrong. And that's why you should practice and record demos of yourself to listen back to. That's honestly, for me, the best way of improving to start off with. At some point, though, that may not be as useful. But there you go. Anyway, second pistol started. This is Astralis' chance to end this quick, to administer the euthanasia to Penta. Pretty good chance. Kiabi by himself, up in a good position. This is kind of an off angle. You're up on the rail, so even if someone sees you, the theory is here that they're only going to see your legs first, whereas you're going to see their head pretty soon afterwards. So it's actually a really good position to have, especially with Zintex watching connector. So I dig this a lot. These are like the different layers of Counter-Strike that on first view you may not necessarily fully appreciate, but I am very much a fan of that position and this setup from Astralis. Carson's going to be running in though with the Glock, and this is a pretty good way of countering any sneaky positions. There's a bunch of smokes and a lot of players behind it. 3 with 1 and a second. Carrigan puts it down with authority. Dupree with a second, and well, I said this is Astralis' chance to finish this off quick, and it seems they're not messing about. Going right for the jugular. Ruthless in their executions. Rip. How'd you like Bucharest? I didn't get to see much of Bucharest. The thing is, when you're casting events, you're pretty much going from the hotel to the venue, from the hotel to the venue, so you only see like bits and pieces of the city. But I thought it was quite nice. It reminded me a lot, because when I was younger, I used to live in like Mediterranean countries, because my dad was in the Royal Air Force. So it reminded me a lot of actually like some aspects of Cyprus and some aspects of Italy. I don't know why, but it did. Tarsin with a frag, actually on 12 health, gets it done. Auto-directed, don't do this to me. Stop with your weird fascination with corpses. I want to watch me some Counter-Strike, not dead bodies. Although Astralis have conceded the first kill, it wasn't a lot of cost for Penta. One of the low players was Lowell, and he's dead and buried. Stefan's the next, and his shoulder was just about around the side of the wall, but he'd already eaten so much damage. A gust of wind would have taken him down, and Astralis, after losing the first player, have definitely stabilised. Crystal is going to try his best to rock the boat once more. That flashbang, if that's in conjunction with Carrigan's peak, then that's the next level. Not quite perfect timing, but the idea was there. That'd have been really sick if the flash detonated as Carrigan peaked. That would have been a sticky pad situation. 2K views only. Well, if you guys didn't know, there's also another ESL Pro League match on the main channel at the same time. So, by all means, hop across to there if you prefer that game. There is multiple matches on this evening. And I think this one is close to its end. MP9. Pretty powerful close range against no Kevlar. Very much a massacre waiting to happen. Dupree lands the headshot, bit of overkill onto Crystal. And Zipnix will land himself the shot. So really need to talk about here in this round. It's going to be a clean-up. The question was, can Penta get a kill? The answer is yes. Can he get any more? The answer is also yes. Lowell's put down a second frag. Zipnix is low, so this is a way for Penta to maybe start to bring the economy back for the Danes. Maybe they can break the economy, that's one way back in, but keeping 3 players alive is totally fine, especially considering one of those, at least one of those was an SMG. Actually, there was an MP9 and a UMP, so they lost the 2 most expendable weapons. That's completely fine for Astralis. What rank am I? Global Elite. Meant to say send everyone into the other stream channel to join this for support. Whichever game you guys want to watch. It's the cool thing with having 2 streams. You get to pick and choose. Dupree, that flashbang is on point. He didn't expect a second player to his left. You can see his aim shifted back as he assumed the Avenge frag would come in that cost him his life, but I'm not going to say anything wrong about that. That's the correct play, really, all things considered. Beautiful entry frags in the meanwhile from Penta, and this much needed round is still in the balance. The scales are tipping back and forth. The seesaw of Counter-Strike continues. Astralis looking to take some weight away in terms of sheer pounds of health. Kiabee's M4 will do just that. But Mike S is on the prowl, on the lurk. Round the back. Kiabee, soon to be a dead man, potentially. Mike S is going to have to trek through the smoke, and in doing so, puts himself in harm's way. He can hear the bomb being defused, actually gives his position away. Oh, Mike S is to the right, mate. It's to the right. What's going on? Oh, it's always rough through smoke, and he's going to pay the price of dying. Afterwards, 15-4. Penta are ripped in pepperonis. If I had the choice of any caster who would I want to work with, I think it's hard to say anyone other than Moses, because I worked with him at Malmo and the guy's like an absolute beast, and I feel like we complemented each other's styles very well. But there's a bunch of casters that I'd happily work with, but for a long time he was kind of like the dream duo in that way to me. Oh, that nade shreds. I think that nade was like 100 to 150 health worth. Landed in monster, detonated in the face of Penta, nuke went off. Another nade lands, that knocks Crystal down to 50, so everybody is 50 or thereabouts health and below. Astralis device is boosted up from his teammate of Dupree. Now coming in through short, so he's going in via the more bottleneck area at this stage of the round. Lowell with an important frag. Leaves Dupree having to tickle the bomb. He's not been long for this world. It's good for 1 kill, but no more. Device is just going to try and save his AK and his beautiful Gamma Doppler knife, which I desperately want and need in my life. Oh my god. Device, what are you doing? You've got a Gamma Doppler knife and the ugliest P2000 skin in the game. Is it Grassland or something? Why do you do this? There's no justice in the world, guys. Anywho, disgusting skins taken out of the equation. The Riser's actually been smoked off. There is a partial gap in the smoke. There's actually a second smoke ahead of him, just on the staircase, so Kirby is going to be having to watch his back. The problem is, who is watching Kirby's back? And the answer is Dupree. So this is a pretty cool triple back-watching affair. That sounds really weird out of context. I'm just going to move on. Doesn't seem to matter, though, because Kirby is going to put down the hammer onto Tarsin. And with 10 more rounds in a row required, this is looking a little bit shaky. There is a couple Mag 7s. Mag 7 is definitely a viable weapon on Overpass, as it is a lot more of maps, to be fair. You see this a lot on likes of Cobblestone, Mirage, it's seen plenty. It's a weapon that I would say over this 6 to 8 month period has seen a lot more play. At one point the shotguns were really never seen. Kirby with the spray, opportunistic at best, I think it's safe to say, and the molly. Curious to see why he actually threw that incendiary in. Maybe assuming he'd get aggressed on from connector, but it seems a little bit wasted. I do have 2 monitors, yes. Glad you guys are enjoying it. I just thought I'd interact with you while I'm solo casting. Also saves me a little bit, saves my sanity. Here's the Mag 7 we were talking about. Oh, Zipnix, I thought could have got a kill extra, which should have changed a lot the dynamic of this round. Kirby on the cross is actually holding the back angle, lands 2 headshots. Actually just 2 frags outright. And now it's all on Crystal. And there is the headshot. It's all over for Penta after a fantastic first map. From their perspective, it goes horribly wrong. And it will end 1 apiece in this best of 2. I say best of 2, it's effectively 2 best of 1s. So that's the first match over with, ladies and gents. The second one is going to be Hellraisers up against Team Dignitas.